So imagine this. You launch one product on Amazon and within months, it's paying for your rent. And now 6 months later, you have a consistent profit coming in while you're at your kid's soccer game or on a flight with your family. Or you did it without a boss, without a storefront, and without going broke. But here's the catch. It's going to cost you to get started just like any type of business. And I'll break down exactly how much it costs to start an Amazon FBA business line by line, including what cost me over $25,000 by not following this playbook. So don't make the same mistake and stay to the very end of this video because I'm going to reveal why it cost me more than $25,000. But let's go ahead and get started, right? So who am I? Well, I've been doing Amazon FBA since 2018. So it's been 7 years of going ahead and learning, adapting, and doing everything it takes to go ahead and have my freedoms, which I'll go over in a little bit. But I've started from brands from scratch. I've also scaled multiple brands to 7 figures. I'm currently right now actively still purchasing Amazon FBA businesses. And I will do over $5 million in revenue just this year alone with my brands on Amazon. And what are the brands that I currently own, right? Because I like for all viewers to be able to fact check me, go ahead and look at my products that I actually sell, look at the strategies I go ahead and use because I'm not afraid to go ahead and give you the products that I actually sell on Amazon. So I own one brand called Maverick, which sells a running chest pack, weighted vest, and basically outdoor type of equipment for athletes. I also sell a brand called Nutri Labs, which is a supplements brand that I just recently purchased in 2025. And I also have Factory Lace, which is a brand that I've started back in 2018 that is still actively selling today. You see, I'm going to go ahead and break down every single cost of Amazon FBA in order for you to actually know what you're getting into. Because the thing that Amazon is life-changing is went ahead and unlocked a lot of freedoms for me that I will go ahead and discuss in a little bit. But I want you to go ahead and be aware of all the costs associated before you even jump into Amazon FBA. So basically what I'm going to go over is private label. We're not going to go over wholesale, retail arbitrage. I don't like to go ahead and put those type of Amazon FBA business models down. But at the end of the day, private label is the only type of Amazon FBA type of structure that allows you to have exit value. Because now, as I mentioned earlier in this video, I purchased Amazon FBA business. And the goal should always be growing your business out to eventually sell it for life-changing amounts of money. And you only do that by having intellectual property like a private label business. So this is how you build a brand, own the customer, and actually create assets that you can sell one day. So I'm 100% bullish on Amazon FBA. This is still why I actively look to purchase more and more Amazon FBA businesses because this has changed my life. And I still think that we're early on in the party. Right? So the freedoms that I'm discussing here is that money freedom, right? Being able to pay for that rent, being able to go ahead and vacation and have a lavish lifestyle, staying at resorts, having nice cars, going ahead and having a nice house, right? So that money that money freedom, but also that location freedom, being able to go and take a full month vacation in Europe and still see your business growing. And also the time freedom, being able to still spend time with your kids without having to ask anybody. Because I can wake up on a random Tuesday, decide to go to Disneyland today, and I don't have to ask anybody. My businesses are still growing. I'm still making money. And at the end of the day, I'm still spending time with my actual kids because that's the most important thing in my life right now. I have a 2-year-old and I have a 1-year-old, and I will never jeopardize anything if I can go ahead and spend as much time as possible with my kids this early on. But you need to know your numbers, right? Because if you don't, you are dead before you even launch on Amazon FBA. So let's get right into it, right? What are the startup costs when it comes to Amazon FBA? And I mentioned here, I'm going to tell you exactly how I lost $25,000 on Amazon FBA. And by you just watching this video itself, you're going to save way more than $25,000. But this is why you watch this type of content, right? So the basics before you get started. So you have this option of going ahead and getting an LLC, an S corporation, or being a sole proprietor, right? I tell a lot of people that I don't want you going ahead and thinking that you need to form an LLC or S corporation from day one if you want to be successful with Amazon FBA, because that is entirely not the point, because you can get started with just your social security number if you are here in the United States and live in the United States. But also, once you start making a little bit of money and having profits on your Amazon FBA business, you will be having to pay a higher tax rate. But I am not a tax professional. I'm an Amazon FBA seller. So go ahead and talk to them once you get to the actual point. So this is why I put that starting an LLC S corporation is optional. And based on the state you live in, it can cost as little as $500 to go ahead and set this up, which I have friends that actually set this up for $200 in states like Michigan or Wyoming, or it can go all the way up to $2,500. Again, I don't like to make any edits on my actual video, so if I do make mistakes, bear with me. But it can cost all the way up to $2,500 if you hire an attorney to go ahead and set this up for you. So it all ranges, right? So I like to go ahead and put a range there. But again, this is all optional. So let's actually get to the nitty gritty stuff that's actually going to cost you money when it comes to selling on Amazon. So number one is that selling fee when it comes to Amazon FBA. Right? So being able to have an Amazon seller account is going to cost you $40 every single month. And usually if you're doing private label, it's going to take you at least 90 days before you even launch a product. So keep that in mind. It's going to cost you $40 every single month. Different expense here is going to be a GS1 barcode. Based on the barcode, you can go ahead and purchase from GS1 for $30 for one barcode or $250 for 10 barcodes. This is required by Amazon, specifically if you're an Amazon FBA, private label seller. And when I first got started in 2018, you didn't necessarily need a barcode from GS1. And I remember going ahead and purchasing barcodes from eBay, but trust me, in 2025 specifically, you do not want to take that route of getting counterfeit barcodes. It's going to go ahead and come and bite you in the ass in the future. So get it from GS1. And these are barcodes that go into every single one of your actual products, right? The next one is $350 to $500 for a trademark filing, right? These are actual just fees that are associated by you registering a trademark with the United States Patent and Trademark Office. It's optional, but it's highly recommended. And if you want to be successful with Amazon FBA, go ahead and do it and try and apply for a trademark as soon as you know what trademark you want to go ahead and do with Amazon FBA. And then you also have product research tools like Jungle Scout, Helium 10, Smart Scout, etc. Right? That's going to run you about $50 every single month. So already just in startup cost alone, not including the business structure that you're going to go ahead and have, we have a running total of $500 and $800 just in startup capital. Right? Then once we find a product that we want to go ahead and sell on Amazon, now comes the fun part as far as reaching out to suppliers and ordering your inventory. So as you guys can go ahead and see here, MOQ is going to be very different based on the product that you go ahead and sell. It can cost you anywhere between $1,500 to $3,500. And how am I basing this off? I'm basing it off you going ahead and ordering a product that's going to cost you anywhere between $3 and $7. And we're going to order 500 units as a test order. Trust me, if you order less than 500 units, it might backfire. If you order more than 500 units, it might backfire. So I like to have a sweet spot of ordering 500 units when I go ahead and do my first order. Again, we've already established that this is a growing market. New sellers are going ahead and making money in this actual niche. And we're going to go ahead and order our first batch of inventory, which could be 500 units. So again, this is just a baseline of $3 to $7 per unit, but obviously you can go ahead and scale up a little bit higher or a little bit lower. I just hate to say it depends how much you go ahead and spend on your first product. So I rather give you guys averages. So the next one is shipping, right? And you can either do air shipping or sea shipping, but sea shipping is going to be way cheaper. Right? And I'm going ahead and basing this on $1 per kilogram. Right now, you can probably go ahead and get it for $1.2, $1.3 per kilogram. But I have a freight forwarder that if you guys use my freight forwarder, it gives you about $1 per kilogram when it comes to sea shipping from China into the United States. So I went ahead and put here that if your product costs or weighs 1 kilogram and you're ordering 500 units, it can be as little as $500 to get this item shipped from China into the United States. But I also put a buffer here of $1,000. Let's say your product weighs more than 1 pound, but less than 2 pounds. And then you might have some packaging customization or getting some mold fees or anything like that. So I like to go ahead and just put a little bit extra just in case. So right now we have a running total from the startup cost as far as going ahead and setting everything up plus inventory costs. And we're right now at $2,000 to $5,000 as far as startup cost, right? But then we already went ahead and got all the startup fees cost. We went ahead and got inventory and logistics. Now it comes to actually selling and marketing your product on Amazon. And that comes with branding and listing assets, right? And right now you can actually get a logo and packaging design from anywhere between $50 to $200, especially if you're using sites like 99 Cent Designs or Fiverr or Upwork. Right. And then we also have product photography, and you can still use Fiverr to get this actual product photography that is going to cost you anywhere between $150 to $500. Same thing with A+ content and copywriting. And the thing is that with all of this here, you can use and leverage ChatGPT to make your copywriting, right? They do a fantastic job as far as knowing who your customer avatar is going to go ahead and be, and basically setting up your Amazon listing based on Amazon's A9 algorithm. And again, this is not a video as far as deep diving into Amazon FBA and how to sell on Amazon and be successful on Amazon, but ChatGPT does a great job to go ahead and give you a base level information. So based on all of this information here, the cost associated with it, we're already at a running total of $2,400 to $5,800 when launching on Amazon with a private label business. And again, all these little things add up, right? But I like to be transparent enough to tell you guys what to expect when you're jumping into Amazon FBA private label. So then we have a launch budget, right? So there is no use of going through all of this, going ahead and doing all the research as far as what product to select, hitting up manufacturers and manufacturing your product and getting it shipped into Amazon if no one is going to see your product. Right? So this is where Amazon PPC comes into place. And PPC can go ahead and fluctuate in so many different ways. If you're well optimized, you have a low tacos rate, your ACoS is great, you can spend very little on PPC. But when you're first getting started, it's going to go ahead and cost you money to get data from Amazon FBA. So I would like for people to go ahead and set aside anywhere between $1,000 to $2,000 when you're launching your product on Amazon FBA. And this is going to give us a lot of data. So when we go ahead and start optimizing, finding the keywords that actually convert, we can start scaling this to a 6 to 7 figure type of business. And we also have like type of giveaways or rebate programs. I put that here, but usually this is the Vine program, which allows Amazon to go ahead and give your products away in exchange for reviews, right? So we want to be able to tailor our actual listing to convert. And we do that by giving away products and getting reviews in exchange, right? So the more reviews you have, the more social proof you have, the better chances that you're going to get a higher click-through rate, and more importantly, a higher conversion rate when you're going ahead and selling your actual product. So what's the reality check here, right? So I went ahead and put together basically every single fee associated based on accounts and tools to start up, inventory and shipping, branding and assets for your actual product, and launching your budget with PPC. And you can see that it comes out to a total of anywhere between $3,300 to $7,800, close to $8,000 to get started. But let me ask you this question. What other business gives you the ability to potentially have a 6 to 7 figure business for less than $10,000 in startup cost? And in the beginning of this video, I mentioned to you something that cost me over $25,000, because this is all grave and dandy, but that $25,000 is way more than $7,800, right? So what was that? Well, let's kind of jump into my personal experiences of mistakes I made when I first got started. So, number one, what costed me over $25,000? Well, it's that double-edged sword of inventory, right? 500 units is the sweet spot when you're ordering inventory. Why? Because if you order too little inventory, you'll be out of stock and lose ranking on Amazon. And if you talk to anybody on Amazon, the cardinal sin is always never run out of inventory. Because if you run out of inventory, you're going to lose ranking, you're going to lose organic sales, you're going to lose PPC sales as well. You're going to end up spending money, you're going to end up spending more money to basically relaunch your product, which again if we know that we're ordering in 500 units and we see that in the first month you're already selling through 50 to 100 units, now it's time to pick up the phone and actually place another order. So by going ahead and getting at least 500 units, it's that sweet spot so that we know that if this is going to be a successful type of product, we can start reordering more inventory. But on the flip side to that, if you order too much inventory, you are stuck with product that might be a dud. And trust me, not every single product is going to succeed. And you're getting this information from someone that's been in the trenches on Amazon FBA for 7 years. I've had multiple failed products that I've done research on, thought that these were going to be home run products. And for whatever reason, they end up just failing. I had a shoe glue, I had shoe wipes, I had a blackhead remover, basically ended up being duds. And I ordered so much inventory because I was so confident that this product was going to go ahead and hit. So again, don't be too cocky. Order 500 units because you'll lose out on money. The next one is a trademark lawsuit. And yes, I've been in legal issues, legal battles. And if you watch my YouTube channel, I am very transparent with everything that goes on in my Amazon FBA business. And I told myself, right, when I first got started with Factory Lace, which was dead stock shoe cleaner in the very beginning, is I told myself I will get a trademark once I start making sales. Well, what ended up happening? This became a household name. I started going ahead and getting basically $100,000 every single month in revenue for this actual brand. And I said, okay, now is the time to get a trademark. And what ended up happening? I went into a trademark lawsuit case because someone thought that I was infringing upon their trademark. And again, this was back in like 2021, 2022. And it was a long battle. And the only people that actually won were attorneys, right? Like all these attorney fees, going ahead and being on the phone with them, going back and forth, because I told myself, look, I have such a big case with this trademark law or this trademark name that there is no way I would lose. And the thing at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how much money you pour in. Sometimes it's just better getting a new trade name. But again, don't make the same mistakes that I did. We can go ahead and go on and on. If you guys are interested as far as hearing that lawsuit story again, comment below and I'll go ahead and go over it. But get a trademark ASAP. Why get a trademark ASAP? Not only do you avoid getting a trademark lawsuit put against you, but you also avoid hijackers, right? So if you don't know what a hijacker is, it's basically that they're going ahead and infringing upon your actual listing, that they're selling the same items that you are. And if you don't have brand registry, which you can only apply for brand registry when you have a trademark, Amazon would not protect you against your trademark, right? So this means that you're going to lose a lot of sales because somebody else is getting sales off of you. And that means that PPC, you're going to be spending money because when somebody goes into your listing page, somebody else will get the sale instead of you. Because usually what ends up happening is these people that are going ahead and selling under your brand name are people from China that are hijacking your account, are selling it way cheaper than you are. Right? And lastly, not understanding the Amazon game. And again, when I first started with Amazon FBA, I was very, very hard-headed in the fact that I didn't know what the Amazon FBA game was, right? So Amazon is a metrics game. You have to understand what makes Amazon money in order for you to actually make money. And by not understanding the Amazon algorithm, the Amazon game, I lost way more than $25,000. Basically, if I knew what I knew now, I would be making way more money when I first got started with Amazon FBA. But this is why I like to say, and right over here, you don't know what you don't know, right? Don't be stubborn. Don't be like me when it came to Amazon FBA. Try and find a mentor that can go ahead and tell you what you need to know about Amazon FBA without having you lose $25,000 in the process. Right? So again, I hope you guys enjoyed this video of me going ahead and breaking down every single expense when it comes down to Amazon FBA. And if you guys are interested in working one-on-one with me, go ahead and DM me the word brand on Instagram, on Eman Los Angeles. But did you guys enjoy this? What are your guys' biggest thoughts on this? But I would appreciate a like on this actual video. Subscribe to his YouTube channel if you want Amazon FBA content. But until next time, guys, peace.